stretch.
And we're back at QC Nationals 2017. Facing off here, we have the Edmonton Aurors versus the Calgary Mavericks.
Both teams getting hype here right behind us. You can see, you can hear, they are cheering. The Calgary Mavericks, formerly the Calgary Mudbloods, they, I believe as a team bonding exercise, saw Top Gun and it changed their lives.
I mean, I don't know, man. Goose was always my guy.
That was an adorable cheer. Here come, retaliating right away is the Edmonton Aurors, currently wearing their Alberta Clippers jerseys to avoid confusion. That's their cheer happening right now. So what are you expecting to see here today?
I mean, we've already seen Edmonton play a really hard, really fast game. They're all about the hard, fast drives right down the line and dropping that right into the hoops. At the same time, we've heard about the Calgary Mavericks. We've heard that they're a highly physical team, that they know how to utilize their players effectively and drive those balls right back. So what I'm almost expecting to see is a high physicality from both players and a fast game, similarly to the one that we just watched with Valhalla.
I'm excited to see both of these teams play. This is a, I guess, West v West, or a Central almost kind of.
Central.
Central, if you're going to get 3 divisions going on, I don't know. But yes, I'm stoked to see these teams. Again, probably a physical matchup, or that's what I've been told to expect. So I'm excited to see how these two teams match up. Again, both teams looking well right now. Apparently, the Calgary Mavericks playing a player down. They're out. Rachel Malone is out on injury, former head coach of Team Canada at the World Cup last year. Out on injury, unfortunately not on the roster for Calgary. That's going to be a big blow to them, one could only assume. But we'll see how they can rally here. They do have, I must say, great hair. If we're going to keep the hair thread going, Calgary is winning the hair game, I think, right now. I mean, Chris Radulski has some nice flow when the wind is blowing correctly, but just resting hair, I think I'm going to give that game to Calgary.
Resting hair. New phrase coined by Suraj Singh at QC Nationals. I mean, I don't know, man. Guelph had some pretty solid resting hair. I'm just saying.
Maybe I'm swayed by the beard on that keeper. I think any team that has a bearded keeper is...
That's true. You make a fair point. You make a fair point.
I mean, Alberta, the Edmonton team has a beard, but it's a close-cropped, nice, respectable job interview kind of beard.
It's not as Viking as I like. You know, I mean, call me biased, but the Viking really, it gets me.
Okay,
you know?
Here we go. Austin Walls, head ref, pointing at all of his ARs, making sure we're all ready, good to go. Because, of course, there's always a third team in a Quidditch match, and that's Team Ref.
Jonathan Gola showing his value right off the bat. Well utilized, taking that extra broom off the pitch. All right, and everyone's brooms down, ready to go. Head ref Austin Wallace getting ready to call this game. Oh, wow, they all have like a pose on the Edmonton Aurors.
And the broom call is up. Here comes Captain Chris Radulski.
I mean, this is a mirror of exactly what we saw from Edmonton before. Right off the bat, they're fast, they drive hard, they pick up the quaffle and pop it right in for an early lead. I mean, like an early lead of 1 point, but an early lead nonetheless, setting the pace.
I also like that the Calgary beater there, not giving him a chance to breathe. He scored the goal, he turned around, he was still almost beat there, keeping him on his toes always. No time to celebrate or showboat.
This is going to be really, really interesting, right? Because you have a team that is apparently highly physical, and then one that's all about speed. And that's number 12.
Indiana Nickel getting wrapped up. Long ball into the zone.
Almost swatted.
Almost
swatted by the Mavericks, but picked up again. And they're not letting it go. All right.
The keeper beat out. Here comes the keeper. As I earlier mentioned, lovely Viking beard. Number 91 here. High defensive forecheck, almost. It's like a forecheck, like in hockey. Indiana Nichols just like all up in their zone. Quick passes off here. Wrapped up, taken down to the ground. Ball stripped. Chris Rad to Indiana Nickel, to Michelle Ferguson. Back to Chris Rad. Head pump fake. No goal.
The goal was. I mean, it's the speed, right? It's the speed on them as they're driving it home and able to pop it right back through those hoops.
I believe it's I think, a great show of speed, determination, and, like, confidence that, like, your teammates are there. Sometimes I feel like they're not even looking. They just know that their teammates are going to be where they have to be.
Absolutely.
To make that play.
I mean, it's confidence in motion. This game brought to you by Subaru.
In fact, I believe today's commentary is brought to you by an incredible urge to urinate. That's a great goal from Calgary there on the board.
I mean, is that the results of the first round of brought to you by caffeine? Wow.
Big hit taken down.
Passes back behind the net. Edmonton still in possession.
Interception. Lovely play there by the keeper.
And now held by the Mavericks. All right, Quaffle in the possession of the Mavericks. Mavericks slowly waiting for their beaters. They have bludger superiority. They are ready. They are moving forward. They're using a style that we've seen from UBC so far, moving it slowly up the field, leveraging their beaters to create that lane. They pop it behind, almost lapped away, but retained by the Mavericks. Strong beater play from Edmonton. Quaffle is still in contention, but is now held by the Aurors. Edmonton keeper with the Quaffle. He's waiting for his squad to form up. We're seeing some quick subs. Beaters coming back into play. Now they're going to look to make a lane and go. They're calling out the play.
Here comes Edmonton on the attack.
All right, pass across mine. Unfortunately, the pass is not caught, but it is retained by Edmonton. Edmonton attempted wrap-up of the Edmonton chaser, strips the ball, and we have a double whistle on the play.
Play stopped here. I believe this might be a call for a jersey pull. I'm not quite sure.
I mean, that happens sometimes. You know, they're loose, just hanging there. It can be a really dangerous implement of play.
A yellow card, I believe, being shown here.
Yellow card delivered to the Mavericks chaser. Making his way to join us in the box.
Making his way downtown.
Jersey grab
is the
tackle.
call, official call from Ref Austin Hollis. Number 85 of the Calgary Mavericks
Come
in the
to
box.
join us in the box.
Yellow card there.
I mean, we've had a lot of company in the box today. I think it's our charming personalities. We're fun.
The players, they can't hear us. You at home, of course, can, I would hope. Unless you've got it on mute, and in which case we're not doing our job very well. The players just want to hear what we have to say about them.
Edmonton keeper number 35 with the Quaffle driving up. He blocks a bludger, and he moves, and he stunks it in the far left hoop.
He stunks it in.
Stunks it in, man. Stunks it in.
Interesting phrasing. From
the score is now 30-10. To Edmonton.
30-10 in favor of the Edmonton Aurors. Here comes Calgary. The Mavericks looking to make some magic. Tied up by Matt Barassa.
Who drives it. And he stunks it in too.
He stunks it in. Matt Barassa, colloquially known as Graham.
Sorry, Colin. What's the time?
Time is 3:58.
Just shy of 4 minutes.
Very early game here. Very early game. And Edmonton has once again done a strong job of setting the pace of play. The score is 40-10 to Edmonton, with the hard drives and the quick turnovers being their bread and butter to put those balls in them hoops.
Good aggressive beater play here. Matt Barassa again on the attack.
Attempted dodge of a bludger, unsuccessful. Attempted pass by the Mavericks, but fumbled, falls on the ground, and now possession is retained by the Edmonton Aurors. Edmonton keeper Chris Rajewski in possession. He's looking to make a hard drive right up the middle.
Stopped at the middle, manages to shake off the defender.
Around, moves past the bludger.
Oh! Big block!
Big
from
block,
the Calgary
no
Mavericks
goal.
Keeper. Chris Radiuski goes for the pump fake. Is well read by the Maverick keeper, but unfortunately the second time.
There we go. Matt Barassa scoring the ball. The Robin to Chris Rajewski's Batman.
I don't know if you've got that correct. I think, at least size-wise, Matt Barassa, I would say, is the Batman in this relationship.
All right, Mavericks in possession of the Quaffle. Maverick with the flow, moving it up the field, passes across to keeper number 66. 66 looking for the pass, passes it back to... Okay, retained by the Mavericks. Mavericks moving it up the wing, looking to move it behind the hoops. Attempted block of a bludger. Unsuccessful, and now the Quaffle is retained by Edmonton Aurors. Edmonton Auror keeper Chris Rajewski in possession of the quaffle.
Some subs here on both sides. Go, he says. Passes it back.
All right, Edmonton keeper Chris Rajewski moving the quaffle. Missed bludger, drives right up, wrapped up by the keeper, and he breaks out to dunk the quaffle.
Didn't stunk it this time.
No, he dunked it. He dunked it.
We've been seeing Edmonton use this play several times now. They'll send two wing chasers around the back in a pincer style and then still drive straight through the middle. So you've got options on every scoring zone there.
So Edmonton has done this really well a few times, pushed the other team and kept them back behind half. The Mavericks attempted right there to do a hard response right up the middle, but they were stopped. They were pushed back almost immediately.
There's a big beat, and this is why you play defense so high, because that turnover is an easy goal.
Indiana Nickel with the hard dunk on the far left hoop. I mean, they pushed them back into their zone, and then once they had the opportunity to make that beat, they retaliated and stuffed the ball.
This is why you'll see teams play so high up, because without the defense there, it's a quick turnover and oftentimes an easy breakaway goal. Here comes the Mavericks. That pass is intercepted and goes astray.
Held now by the Edmonton keeper. Edmonton Auror keeper number 29 in possession of the quaffle. Looking for an opening. Attempted wrap by chaser number 85 on the Mavericks. Beat out and away. Edmonton Aurors keeper giving commands, passes it across to number 10. Number 10 moving along the wing.
Nice handoff there.
Unfortunately, ticked off by the bludger.
Good kick from Galloway.
Number 15 beater. Number 29 keeper
Here
on
comes
Edmonton.
Cooper being pushed into the Calgary Mavericks subzone.
Holds on to it long enough for his beater to intervene. Number 29 retaining possession of the quaffle. Passes it across. The pass does not connect, but is picked up by Edmonton chaser number 404. 404 passes it back to 29. And it's a good.
Pass is found.
Pass is found.
404.
Goal is scored.
Goal is scored.
The score is now 80-10 for the Edmonton Aurors. They have done a phenomenal job of setting the pace of this game very, very, very early.
Big drive there from the keeper, getting shoved into the Calgary bench, shaking off the team, still managing to turn that into a goal. Some quick beats being thrown around in the Edmonton zone, and the keeper now is breaking away, juking and jiving, looking for the open ball. Finds it on the right side, but this chaser's wrapped up, taken to the ground, and
Mavericks retain possession of the quaffle. All right, they're moving the ball slowly up the pitch. They're looking. They've maintained bludger superiority for, I believe, most of this game.
I believe that's probably accurate, but even with bludger superiority, you're seeing beats flying in every direction on almost every play.
Absolutely.
These teams not afraid to use. That was a fabulous block there from the keeper.
Unfortunately, did not connect. Hit the side of the hoop, bounced off.
Calgary, though, still with the ball in the offensive zone here. Peeling away now as Edmonton, the keeper, in possession in their zone. Some subs here on the Edmonton bench. Calling plays here. We see one chaser in the back.
All right, that's keeper number 35 on Edmonton. Passes to Barassa. Quick turn and stuffs it.
That's a lovely bit of playmaking. You can see them call that play from their own zone. Matt Barassa running around behind the hoops, making himself available on the little hoop. Quick pass, quick give and go. That's some great passing play. That's great teamwork.
I mean, we've seen this so far from them today. The connectivity between their teammates is phenomenal. They know where each other are. They know where that pass is. And so they very rarely fumble it. But now we have the Mavericks coming back to 14. Passes back to number 91.
Unfortunately, the shot is a bit wide. He gets tangled up, dismounts off broom, manages to get the shot out. Unfortunately, it's just wide. Goal ref, Jonathan, aptly named Gola.
Gola!
Jonathan Gola ref. Waves it off, no good. Here comes the keeper now.
Edmonton keeper number 35.
Hands it
off to Michelle Ferguson.
Before taking a sub. Here comes Edmonton, long ball in for Michelle Ferguson to Chris Radusky. Passes again, off to the side.
No goal here. But
still in possession.
Quaffle is still contested. Now retained by the Calgary Mavericks. All right.
Defense there to stop that play.
Maverick with the flow, with the main even, in possession of the Quaffle.
Dat flow.
Dat flow dough.
Great job on the defense there. They saw what was happening. They said, you can't. You did this last time. We're not going to let you do that again. So they were ready for it. They were ready for that give and go.
Oh,
Big
wow.
Boot.
Big boot of the bludger. All right.
Here comes
Edmonton in possession of the Quaffle. That's keeper Chris Radusky with the Quaffle, making his way up, using both beaters up in the enemy zone. Drives all the way through, using those beaters to perfection to score that goal. He brought both beaters with both bludgers up into the opposing zone, cleared out a lane, and was able to drive it right in and score.
Did he bring them, or did they bring him?
Question for the ages. Question for the ages.
Here comes Calgary. Quick handoff into the center, dodges the beat, comes all the way down. Nice pass off to the
easy
side.
Pass, and it's a goal.
Nice alley-oop there from Calgary. With flair.
Goal ref Gola calling the goal with arms that can probably be seen from the East Coast.
Fun fact, if the tall hoop breaks, we can just sub them in for Gola.
Absolutely.
Here comes...
utilizing all of his talents.
Comes Edmonton with a goal here. This might be called off. I believe the assistant ref is trying to get... I believe this goal is called no good. There's a turnover here. The keeper here, Chris Radusky on Edmonton, was beat and continued to play. So I believe they're saying his drive there is now invalid.
I mean, you could definitely see some frustration from the Mavericks in this because they came into it and it was a back and forth, right? At the beginning, it was back and forth, but now you're seeing that Edmonton has posted it up to 100-20. 100-20 going into this. I mean, the Mavericks are going to need to turn something around. No goal. And there you can see the frustration. Number 13, keeper on the Mavericks. Wicked fast all the way up the pitch. But unfortunately, at the end, the goal just didn't connect.
Shaking his head in frustration is number 13. He knows he should have had that goal.
I mean, and that's the challenge, right? Being able to not be rattled by the things that by the emotional toil that the game is taking on you.
It's a physical game. It's a mental game. It's anybody's game.
Absolutely. All right, we have chaser number 12 on the Aurors. Nice handoff to 404. Pass it across to the keeper on the Aurors. Driving it up down the center. Passes it across before being beat. No goal. The goal is called no good. But Quaffle is retained by the Edmonton Aurors. Chaser number 404 with the Quaffle. Passes it across. Passes it back to the keeper. Edmonton Aurors keeper moving the Quaffle up the pitch. Looking for the opportunity, driving on the side. Blocks a bludger. Posts it across to 404, who stuffs it. That's another goal for the Edmonton Aurors.
Edmonton Aurors loving this play, passing to the left side on the little hoop, having somebody waiting in the wings, as it were, ready to score. Score
is now 110-20. And I mean, this is one of those things. I mean, the Mavericks are going to have to adapt. The Edmonton Aurors have obviously found a weakness in their armor, and that's something they are exploiting to full advantage. They've run this play on them multiple times now. The drive up the side, pass across the far left hoop, and then the stuff. Okay, it's happened a few times at this point.
If it works, it works. Here comes Calgary now. The keeper passes it back. Being caught again at the midfield line. The high pressure from the Aurors here. Not giving Calgary any space to breathe.
Attempted beat by the Mavericks, unsuccessful, leaving Edmonton ready to defend. Attempted pass, chase number 67, the Mavericks fumbled, allowing him to get beat. And then the keeper, thus turning over possession
ball is
to
loose.
the Edmonton
Chaser
Aurors.
picks up the ball, looks for the pass.
Blocks, bludgers, pops it across.
Nice pass across.
He's coming this way.
Oh,
taken down to the ground.
Wrapped up, stopped by keeper number 66 on the Mavericks.
Advantage is being called. I can see the refs with their hands in the air. Here comes Edmonton, still on the attack. with ferocity. Calgary with the ball. Here's the call. A penalty will be called against Calgary here.
Lot of frustration from Edmonton chaser number 3 right there. Lot of frustration, and perhaps with good reason.
The ref, as you saw on that play, with their hands in the air, signaling advantage, a penalty would be called against Calgary, but you let the Edmonton team play out until they lose their momentum there.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we can see that even with Edmonton's lead, tensions are running high. Tensions are running high in this game.
It's very tense. It's like camping. That's how intense it is.
How intense it is? I see what you did there. Very punny.
I don't know that it was. Yellow card is being shown. Contact to the neck. And now a timeout is being called.
And I mean, this is the right time to do this, right? Like this is the time. We've seen a world where Edmonton has been able to find that advantage and drive it home very, very effectively over the last minutes. If for no other, I mean, they have to readjust.
Yeah, I know, and for sure, this is a great time to use that timeout. Time-wise, you know the snitch is about to come on pitch. You can't use the timeout after that. And now they will be playing with an advantage. So they have the ball, they'll have possession, they'll have an extra player on the field. So they're going to use that time to keep pushing and keep pushing the pace. And you can see the spirits are high in their huddle. They know that right now the game is rather handily in their favor.
It is in their hands right now. I mean, right now you could confidently say this is Edmonton's game to lose. They've got a big lead on Calgary, and Calgary is going to need to turn that around. I mean, I'm almost a bit nervous for the Calgary team right now because this is a tough situation to be in, especially going into snitch play in the near future.
I never say it's anybody's game. The game is always up for anybody to win. I mean, I saw the Super Bowl. Any comeback can be happening.
That's true.
Well, they're back on their brooms. Let's see how this plays out.
Absolutely.
I mean, did you see that comeback?
No, it's true. It's true, though, right? I mean, we all thought it was done. We all thought it was done.
Many a bet was lost that night.
Did you hear about that random guy who's going out with, what is it?
Eugene Bouchard.
Eugene Bouchard, that's the one.
Ah, man, I should have tweeted that faster.
Okay, your fiance would love that.
Oh, Eugene Bouchard, I'm sure I could get a pass. If you're listening to the Quidditch live stream, Eugene Bouchard, what's up? So the players are remounted, save for the one Calgary player in the box.
And the quaffle is now held by the Edmonton keeper. Edmonton keeper looking to get around the chaser. Drives up the middle, there are no bludgers. Pops it across, and then there's stunks it right into that hoop.
The chaser is released. He's back into the game off broom after that goal from Edmonton.
I mean, there was a moment of weakness there on the Calgary line where there was a breakdown in their beater play, and they took advantage of it.
Here comes Calgary on the counterattack. Big drive in, dishes it out to the center. The pass is a little wide, but Calgary coming in, bringing it back into the center. What heart there, diving straight into the keeper, but it's brought down by Cooper.
All right, passes it across to number 404, and the Edmonton keeper takes a sub.
That hit took a lot out of it.
All right.
Here comes 35 now.
We're seeing a bit of a...
Sun's out, guns out.
Bit of a shuffle up on the Edmonton side, but they seem about ready. Pass it off to Chris Rajewski, number 36 on the Edmonton Aurors. He's driving up the wings, spins out of a tackle, passes back to keeper number 35, who drops it behind the hoops. The pass does not quite connect with number 41. Chaser on Edmonton, and now possession is held by the Mavericks keeper. Possession is held by the Mavericks keeper. He's making his way up, waiting for his lines to form up. Some quick beater work to give him the freedom.
Pass into the zone. Here comes Calgary in the keeper zone. Big jump. The shot is blocked. Possession is now safely in the hands of their keeper.
Keeper number 35, the Edmonton Aurors in possession, passes it to Barassa, chaser number 9 on the Aurors, who takes advantage of a bludger throw and passes 35. Oh, held back, stopped by the Mavericks keeper, who holds him just long enough for the bludgers to come into play.
The snitch
is on the pitch.
The Seekers are called.
Oh, the Mavericks are back in it.
Here comes the Mavericks.
That's
Big
a goal.
Two-hand shot on his knees.
Chaser
on
with
his knees, taking the sub though. Well deserved.
We have a handshake from the Seekers. They're just about ready to go. They're getting the countdown.
The Snitch is getting loosey-goosey.
I mean, this is it. Like, the Mavericks have to bring it back here.
Snitch is rather sassy. That's what I like to see in a Snitch. Here comes
keeper number 35 on the Oars, looking for his lane. Attempts a run, but is beat out. Quaffle possession now held by the Mavericks. Maverick chaser number 16 moving it up the pitch, driving up the middle.
Shot is too high.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Seekers are released.
Seekers are released. Here they come.
Edmonton Aurors immediately pushing away the Seeker from the Mavericks as he drives in hard. He knows that this is his opportunity to end it quickly and efficiently for his team.
But before he can do that, he has to get past this talented Snitch.
In the meantime, Radzewski, number 36 on the Edmonton Aurors, attempts a pass across the wings, does not connect. Picked up with the Mavericks chaser with the flow, number 20. Possession of the Quaffle retained by the Mavericks keeper. Mavericks keeper passing it up to chaser number 16. In the meantime, the Snitch holding Seeker
off
number 1 up play.
Holding off the Edmonton Seeker, and the Edmonton beater there, I believe, Brian Galloway, holding off the Calgary Seeker.
Oh, nice pass across the hoops for the Mavericks. Unfortunately, before he was able to score it.
It looks like Calgary's going for the concession catch. They know, I guess they're down too far. They don't believe that they, I guess, can come back from this deficit, looking to end this game on their own terms, rest up, recoup for their next game.
Well, I mean, there's a value to the point differential end of it, right? There's a value to knowing when the right time is to call it and then to regroup.
Yeah, you don't want to, because it's the kind of game where you don't want to keep it dragging on too long. That's when you get injuries. That's when you get stress.
Absolutely.
But if you know that you can end it and then recoup, figure out what's working for you, what's not working for you, and just take that into the next game. Because it's not eliminations yet. There's always the next game.
Edmonton Aurors Seeker seems just as ready to end it, taking a quick sub after another attempt, an unsuccessful attempt to catch the Snitch. In the meantime, Quaffle possession is retained by the Aurors. Oh, he makes a run at drive for the hoops, but is beat up by a very nice beat by the Mavericks. Quaffle now in possession of keeper number 13.
Using his speed, good feet there. The Snitch tail was dislodged, though not caught.
Double whistle.
There's a double whistle here
to reattach the tail. Quick conversation between the refs
They're thinking about karting.
and the Snitch.
Some discussion here.
Or maybe something happened.
Some discussion here happening regarding this pull on what counts as possession, or if this attempt at a snatch was legally done.
Both teams seem pretty eager to finish this now at this stage of the game. I mean, Edmonton did a fantastic job of setting pace, and they maintained it. The score right now is 120-30 in snitch play. Either way, if the snitch is caught by either side, Edmonton takes it. I guess now it's a question of by how much.
I also like to see it's all smiles on the pitch between all the players. Both teams, having a good time out here.
And that's what's important, right?
Good sportsmanship.
Sportsmanship.
At the end of the day, we're all winners, except the team that actually wins is the real winner.
In the meantime, goal ref Jonathan Gola showcasing his height, showcasing his many, many talents. I mean, it's important to recognize the talents of the people in the Quidditch community. And Jonathan Gola is a very, very talented player.
I believe you're right there, and I don't know that he's always used to the best of his ability.
He's not, he's tall as Treebeard with the wingspan of a hawk.
The Seeker grabbed the shorts and the snitch at the same time, had instantaneous possession. At the time, the snitch was removed from the shorts completely, and then lost possession. There was an instantaneous catch, so that's a good catch. Game is over.
So just to recap, for all of you.
Good.
The
It's a
catch
good
is ruled
catch.
good. Essentially what happened was the seeker grabbed the snitch, grabbed the shorts, and in that moment there was a catch. Despite the fact that it fell afterwards, the catch is still, in that moment, ruled good. And that ends the game in favor of the Edmonton Aurors.
Yeah, the possession rules sometimes can be tricky to figure out what counts as the grab. Do you have to have it the whole way down? If you grab it and then drop it, does it still count? Similar to baseball, you just have to hold the possession long enough that it counts that it was yours, and then...
And that's what's important, right? Like, in the end, this was a hard-fought game. Despite what the score shows, this was a difficult game. It wasn't easy for either team. Edmonton, and I've said this a few times, but I'll say it again because it's important. Edmonton set the pace, and they managed to maintain that the entire way, and that's what brought them the game in the end.
Good game here. Handshakes, hugs all around.
And hugs all around.
Calgary v. Edmonton has finished up.
Well, I mean, that's it for another fantastic game at this year's QC Nationals. My name is Mo Waja.
I'm Suraj Singh.
You stay classy, QC Nationals.
I don't know what to tell you.